What's up? What it do, cyber world? It is your girl, the one, the only Ash said it. AshSaidIt.com. AshSaidIt.com. Baby babies. Okay, so you guys know that we always put out positive, good vibes, good energy out there into the universe because it comes back to us. And today I've got a special guest with me. She is outstanding emerging choreographer, New York Dance and Performance Award nominee, the beautiful Miss Jennifer Weber. Jennifer, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for joining us. So let's talk about this new show you got going on, all right? The Hip Hop Nutcracker. What can audiences expect from this show?
Well, this show is basically we took the entire classical score from Tchaikovsky, the original score of the Nutcracker, and we translated it into the language of hip-hop dance. You're going to hear the whole classical score that you know and love from every holiday show, except this time you're going to see a lot of classic, old-school hip-hop dance telling you the story.
Awesome. So, how many performers are we talking about here? Because I know it's got to be interesting keeping track of everybody on the road.
There are 12 dancers in the show, and there's also a DJ and an electric violinist. Gotcha, so we have, some live musicians, we have amazing dancers, and, we're just excited to be bringing the show to Atlanta.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to it, November 27th, the fabulous Fox Theater. We're definitely looking out for that show, so super excited about that. Wow, awesome show. So this particular show, as far as the tour goes, and you're going city to city, place to place, what city has been your favorite city thus far?
Oh man, it's so hard to say. I mean, it's like wherever we go, we seem to just like find our audience because the Hip Hop Nutcracker brings a really diverse audience into the theater. We get people who love the classic ballet, we get people who love hip hop, we get lots of families. It's great for kids. We get all kinds of people, and it seems like those people exist everywhere. So, it's not about like a favorite city, but it's just about the magic of the experience of finding amazing people in every city. I think that's what makes it so special. It just makes the world feel a little bit smaller, if you know what I mean. Like, to know that there are these amazing people everywhere you go.
Absolutely. All right, so I've got questions coming in from the Facebook. I appreciate you guys on my Facebook page here. I've got a question from Sarah. Sarah wants to know, how many rehearsals does it take before opening night?
We rehearsed for about 2.5 weeks, and we rehearsed 8 hours a day, just like any other job that you would have. We were in the studio all day. But yeah, about 2.5 weeks to get the show up and running.
Okay, cool beans. Her next question is, how many costume changes do you guys go through?
So many. Oh my goodness. Normally, people do the Nutcracker with a huge cast, and we have 12 dancers. So we have a lot of people doubling or tripling or quadrupling parts. So, we have people who start off in the party scene and then they become a mouse and then they become a snowflake, in ours. It's like, so it's a lot. It's a lot going on backstage that you can't see when you see the show. It looks very seamless, but backstage is like costume pieces being thrown all over.
Definitely. So for you as a veteran choreographer, because you are very well accomplished, was there a transition period for you from choreographer to director?
I've sort of always done both. I've been directing and choreographing for a really long time. And I think a lot of times in dance, it's sort of like the same, like choreographing is directing and directing is choreographing. So I've sort of been doing both those for a very long time. But, on a show like this, it's so much of directing as well as choreography because you have to really, it's not just dance. There's a lot of acting in the show as well. So you're really creating characters and narrative and, working with the dancers and working with their freestyles as well as choreography to, like, bring the characters to life.
Definitely. All right. And they want to know, what kind of characters can they see on stage at this show?
It's all the characters that you know from the Nutcracker. You're going to see Drosselmeyer, you're going to see the Snowflakes, you're going to see the Mice and Soldiers, you're going to see Maria Clara and the Nutcracker Prince. It's all the sort of iconic characters because we're telling the same story of the Nutcracker that everybody knows. We're just putting it in contemporary New York City and through the language of hip hop, but we do stay really true to the story itself.
Gotcha. So there's not going to be like a giant boom box that like comes from the sky somewhere just randomly.
There will not be a giant boom box that comes from the sky randomly.
Okay. Cool, babes. All right, Jacob wants to know auditions. How often do you all hold auditions for your shows?
We audition once a year. This year we actually had our auditions in Los Angeles, and the cast is based in Los Angeles for the most part. So it depends. The year before we did them in New York, and we had a New York cast. It just, depends on our schedule and where we're going to be. And they're always really exciting because it's just amazing to see how many brilliant hip-hop dancers there are wherever we go. There's just such a great energy in the room.
Definitely. So, as choreographer / director, what is your biggest challenge during a show?
I think the biggest challenge in creating a show like this is just working with the classical score because the music is so intricate and complex, and it's really hard to count. As hip-hop dancers, we're used to dancing to a very, clear hip-hop beats, but in Tchaikovsky, it's not so clear, so you really have to, almost create, a new language so that everyone understands what you're talking about. So, trying to pick out the rhythms and the sounds and the instruments. So I think that's a really big challenge, from a directorial perspective, because if you can't communicate what you need the dancers to embody, then they don't understand, So it's we all have to agree on this new language that's a language that none of us are that familiar with when we start out. By 2 weeks in, we all know, oh, that's the piccolo coming in right there, but at first it's what's that sound,
All right, with so many personalities in a small setting and you guys actually touring city to city, country to country, are there a lot of hijinks and pranks that go on the road?
There.
I take it as a yes.
It's one of the things about performing the same show over and over. So sometimes to keep things fresh, little secret things might happen on stage, but you gotta hide them from the audience.
You would never know.
You'll never know. You'll never know. But the cast has an amazing time. They're such amazing people. They're brilliant artists and just fantastic humans, and they're gonna have a good time no matter what.
Absolutely. So, what city are you guys in right now?
St. Paul, Minnesota.
All right. And what's the weather like out there?
It's cold. Yeah, we started in LA. We rehearsed in LA and opened in LA a couple days ago, and then we went to Denver and now St. Paul. So it's we're looking forward to heading back south.
Yeah, well, I will tell you that the South we're getting some of that cold draft. We got that cold front coming in, so don't be too shocked if it's in the 30s when you guys get here.
Oh.
Definitely. All right, so overall, what do you want audience to leave with this show?
I think that when audiences see the show, I just hope that they're inspired by the sheer heart and energy and talent of the dancers on stage and our ability to, tell this classic tale through the language of hip-hop, and just for them to see really strong hip-hop dancers using their language, using their bodies, using their physicality, using their storytelling for something that's not just about hip-hop. That's something that's bigger than hip-hop,
Yeah.
And especially for all the young kids in the audience, to see such strong, especially the female hip-hop dancers in the show are just unbelievable. And I think a lot of times in sort of commercial hip-hop, there's a big gender gap between what you see the guys do and what you see the girls do.
Mm-hmm.
And in old school hip-hop, it's much more about, everyone doing the same. And I think in the show, we're really trying to show the strength of not just the male hip-hop dancers, but also the female hip-hop dancers. And I hope that, especially for kids, they can look up, and see these amazing role models of the cast. And just, you can see somebody do something you might think is impossible, hopefully that will inspire you to do something you might think is impossible.
Definitely. And how did Kurtis Blow come into the mix with you guys? I thought that was phenomenal that he was actually involved with.
Yeah, I mean, Curtis's first hit was Christmas Rappin', so like it's a total perfect fit, and he's just such a great energy, and he is such a hip hop icon, and he brings so much
Yes.
energy and so much heart and so much like just love to the stage. And when we perform with him, it just takes everything to the next level because he sets it off. He gets the audiences on their feet before we even step on stage, and you know I think sometimes people get a little nervous about going to see a dance show. Like they feel like maybe they shouldn't clap or scream or cheer. And Kurtis definitely lets everyone know that it's totally cool to cheer to
Yeah.
Tchaikovsky.
That sounds like fun. That sounds like a good
Yeah,
time.
it's a great time.
And of course, DJ Boo. DJ Boo is also a
Yeah.
part of the cast with you guys. How was that connection made?
Oh, I've been working with DJ Boo for a really long time. We've been working together for about 5 or 6 years, so we've done all kinds of projects together. And he's an amazing turntablist, and he can really hype the crowd and just keep the party going. And he's also composed some of the tracks that are in the show. We have a couple of hip hop remixes of Tchaikovsky that we use strategically throughout the piece, and Boo composed all of those. And he has so many talents. He's just one of these people that he can DJ, he can compose, he can do anything.
Definitely. So, as a veteran choreographer and now director and everything else under the sun that you're doing or you're going to do, what advice would you offer for any aspiring young people that may be listening around the globe? Because my show is pretty much everywhere. But what advice would you offer them in the field that you're in?
I think my main advice would just be to stay open and stay positive because, being open to new experiences is really important as an artist and to not sort of set yourself into too narrow of a lane because in the arts there's no narrow lane that can provide enough opportunity for any one person. So you really have to be thinking outside the box and just see what comes your way and then give your full heart and energy to it. And, I think everyone always wants to work with people who are positive and bring a positive energy to the space. And I think that overrides talent so many times. You got to have the skills, but you also got to be a good person.
Definitely. Well, I just want to say, Jennifer, I appreciate you so much for coming through to the show today. Let everybody know how they can get in contact with you guys, if they can check out to see when the Hip Hop Nutcracker is coming to their city. Where do they need to go?
You can go to hiphopnutcracker.com. That's our website. It has all of our info and also our Instagram at hiphopnutcracker. You can check us out, see what we're doing backstage, maybe show you some of those crazy hijinks that go on.
Definitely. Well, I certainly appreciate you today, and I appreciate everybody that tuned into the show. I love you guys so very much. Keep pushing forward. We've got a lot more going up, and the rest of 2016, 2017 is going to be ridiculous, redonkulous. We're going to take over.
No doubt.